Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It is Saturday, March 18th. And it looks like some of us may have finally gotten our pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. News was out this morning that Donald Trump has announced that he is going to be arrested on Tuesday. Donald Trump's lawyer, I guess this was happening yesterday, was out there saying that if Donald Trump is indicted, he will surrender peacefully. Now, mind you, if Donald Trump said that, we can take the exact opposite, that he wouldn't surrender peacefully. But his lawyer is saying he will. What does that mean? Who knows? And Donald Trump basically tweeted out today that, it's all this unfairness is going on and the DA is corrupt and he's going to be arrested and he wants his followers to protest. So this weekend ought to be a bit tumultuous. Expect that there are going to be some MAGA supporters out there that are going to cause problems. These guys, some of them are they're crazy. They're just mentally not stable, and they have firearms. Okay. So, whether they use them or not, but I would expect that somebody's going to shoot up an FBI building or a government building somewhere within the next week, probably either this weekend up to Tuesday. I suspect it'll happen after the announcement of Trump being arrested. If that does happen, somebody's going to go cray-cray and shoot up a building because they're frustrated and they don't know what to do with it, but they've got a gun. Okay, so what I'm saying is if for some reason this happens and you're out celebrating, just keep one eye out for that one guy in the corner that looks pissed off and wearing a trench coat or just comes in with a shotgun. Because, again, they don't let us win. They never let us win. Think about when Biden won the 2020 election. Immediately, they were saying the election was fraud and you had to stop the steal rallies and such. You couldn't even have a night to celebrate without people trying to ruin your parade. Okay, but this reading, brought to you by me and Bob Miller, representing Hope. Mr. Mueller. Okay, Robert, your report's probably going to come back up. This reading is going to be dedicated to Donald Trump and his legal problems and what's going on right now. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that we're going to be able to read on. This is not to celebrate this man's downfall as much as to finally celebrate that maybe we're finally getting some justice around here. It's been so long in coming. Okay, if you're a Trump fan, a MAGA supporter, you're probably not going to like this next reading. I get it. You don't have to watch it. But if you do watch it, I would say try your best to look at it as an open mind. If it makes you feel better, pretend I'm saying Hillary instead of Donald. Okay? But this is the reality of what's happening. And this isn't a political witch hunt. This is the law. And you might just find yourself getting pulled back into the reality that we've been living in for years and years and years. You've been lied to. You've been duped. I'm sorry. It's not fair. It's not fair that that's been done to you. It's not fair for us that it's been done to you because the repercussions on us have been just as bad. But it's even more heartfelt for somebody who you've trusted has been deceiving you and lying to you the whole time. Conning you. Okay. So... just Donald Trump's mindset right now. What is Donald Trump's mindset? I have a pretty good idea. I mean, it doesn't take much of an intuitive to read on that, right? He's angry, he's scared, and he's trying to stir up trouble to show how powerful he is, either to feed his ego or to try and intimidate those who would arrest him. So he's carrying a huge burden. Huge burden. He's never had to face this before. This man has skated on everything, and all of a sudden he's not skating anymore. He's staring down an indictment and arrest. And crossing it is the Queen of Swords. Time has come. The law is here. The judgment is here. This is cut. It's basically there's no emotion. You think about it, Donald Trump plays on emotions. He is really, really good at it. And in this case, this is like an emotional, it's like a robot. This is like an insect. You can't reason with it. You can't convince it. You can't con it. This is just the harsh reality of what's going to happen. He's danced all night and the bill has come due. In the past, defeat, this is probably back to the 2020 election where he lost the election. And at that point is when his life really started to unravel. We can make the argument this is 2016 when he got elected. His life as he knew it was over. But he had the choice of taking a higher path. Not the probability that was like slim to none, but he could have taken that higher path and made some substantial changes. But he just slipped into his old habits and grifted. And even that probably he would have gotten away with it, except he just took it too far. This is January 6th. This is when he took it too far. That killed it. He killed himself on that one. He killed any chances he had of skating. Current situation, Ace of Swords. Here comes justice. Just like the Queen was holding her sword, here's justice. Justice has arrived. True justice. Sorry, the facts don't favor him at this point. What's he thinking? He's thinking about leaving. Now, this could be, I'm going to be spending the rest of my life in jail, which he won't. You think about it. Let's be realistic here. As much as we'd like to see him in handcuffs, on a perp walk, and then in an orange jumpsuit with his head shaved, and showing up to court in chains and leg irons in an orange jumpsuit, it's never going to happen. As much as we'd like to see it, it's never going to happen because he's an ex-president. If he was Donald Trump's citizen, yeah, that we'd have gotten that, but we wouldn't have cared either at that point. No, what this is that when his lawyer is saying he's going to surrender peacefully, really the messaging is we're in negotiations right now for Donald Trump to turn himself in, so he doesn't have to have any pictures taken with him in handcuffs. He'll go in, he'll get his mug shots and his fingerprints taken and such, and then he'll probably be allowed to leave. They're not going to take him they won't remand him into custody. Even if they do arrest him and they he's going to get a house arrest. They're not going to put him in a jail cell. They're not going to put him in prison. They're going to give him house arrest. Now, he has to go back to New York for this one. So likely he's got his apartment on Fifth Avenue or wherever his place is. They're going to just house arrest him to that. There's worse things in the world than a 10,000 square foot penthouse apartment to be house arrested in. But he's probably also still thinking about how he's going to get out of here. I don't think this is him. I mean, this could be him worried about his arrest, but I think this is him looking at how do I get out of this situation. And I've done readings before, and the energy showed him trying to make plans to leave. That was the other part I wanted to bring up. For the Stormy Daniels case, which is just campaign finance, I cannot see a situation where they would consider Donald Trump to be a flight risk over this. So I don't think he will have to give up his passport. I could be wrong, but I don't think he'll have to give up his passport. So that keeps his hopes open. Now, if this was the Georgia case with election tampering, or even more, the Mar-a-Lago case with classified data, they're going to grab his passport. But I think right now he might stick around to see what happens. E. Jean Carroll, they're not going to take away his passport. They'll have him stick around to see what happens, but he'll be able to hold on to his passport. So he's kind of got that thought of, how do I get out of here? How do I get out of this? Do I stick around and bully my way out, or do I hop on a jet and go visit Saudi Arabia? I'm convinced he'd go to Saudi Arabia if he could escape. He's got his best chance there. Putin is weak. He's ill. There's a war going on over there. The next government probably won't be very kind to him. Xi's got all sorts of problems going on in China, and their relationship is complicated. I don't think, we don't even know what's going on with Kim Jong-un, if he's even alive or not. That leaves Saudi Arabia or Qatar, and he's been a dick to Qatar. So Saudi Arabia it is if he's going to go. Lesson to be learned, King of Swords. We're here. Alvin Bragg's here. The judge is here. Judgment's here. We got the King and Queen of Swords. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. This is going to happen. And it's not going to be good for him. And I think it's the beginning of things not being good. The outcome is illusions and delusions. He's going to try and muddy the waters. He's going to lie. He's going to obfuscate. He's going to do everything that he normally does. But, oh God, and this is also his followers, right? Because they're delusional. He's deluded. He's lied to them. He's really manipulated them. And he's really trying to activate those people. And that'll be another read I'll do in this session. This is going to be this might be an hour-long session for me. But Trump's not in his right mind. And maybe he tries to play, an insanity defense, that he's no longer mentally capable of staying trial. That would be one way to get out of this issue and future ones. But he's also going to try and stir up stuff. And he may not even be thinking clearly if he should stay or fight. Underneath it is the Two of Cups. It's the agreements. I think this is like the negotiation that's going on with him surrendering right now with his lawyers and stuff like that. So he may not be very realistic in his expectations as to what's going to happen, but what's going to happen is going to happen. And that, I don't think that's a real risk there. Donald Trump wouldn't be tweeting out that he's going to be arrested on Tuesday unless he knew he was going to be arrested on Tuesday. He's trying to get ahead of the story. He's trying to get outrage going on there, get his people in the streets, like the BLM protests and stuff like that, to show how powerful he is, how powerful his supporters are, and to intimidate. He wants to intimidate the legal system in New York. He's certainly going to want Fox News to carry all this, and I'm sure Fox News will, because it's going to be a moneymaker for them, right? Newsmax and OAN, oh God, it's going to be Donald Trump coverage 24/7 all weekend long and through next week, and basically through next week, even if he gets arrested, it's going to be 24/7 Donald Trump news coverage. Heck, I'm even doing a long Donald Trump reading today. I got up this morning, slept in. It was glorious. Thank you very much. Nice to have a Saturday to sleep in. And here I am talking about him 12 minutes in already on my perfectly fine Saturday. But that's okay. I've been waiting for years to do this. All right. So that's kind of his mindset right now. What is Donald Trump trying to do with his base? I'll throw a little four-carder on that one. What's Donald Trump trying to do with his base? Is he trying to activate them? I just want to get a little confirmation on that. I'm pretty sure he is. Okay. Okay, what's he trying to do with his base? Bring him in. He's calling in his favors. He's welcoming him back. Like, come on, let's go. I need you people. You people are here to support me. This is the wedding card, so you can think of this is that marriage between him and his base. He's bringing them in. Come on. It's time for... This is the party you've been waiting for. Stand down and stand by. Now, here we go. Because justice is corrupt. Justice has come for him. It's corrupt. It's time to fight the fight against justice. Heartbreak. Betrayal. He's trying to that makes perfect sense. He's trying to convey to his base that they've been betrayed. Law enforcement has betrayed this country. It's a political witch hunt. The deep state has taken over, and now he wants his people to fight. Let's see how the message is on this one. It's time for turmoil. Basically, this is not juggling like what do we need to do. This is he wants he wants that chaos of the waves in the back. He's playing on their loyalties. And I know what's interesting is that I think some of his base, they don't know what to do. They want to go out and help him. But you have the January 6th thing, right? All those people got arrested. Those people got put in prison by the Justice Department. So they don't know what to do. Some of them will go out there and cause turmoil. Others are going to be, we don't like that. We're going to scream on social media, but we're not going out there. And others will scream at their friends and family, but they're not even going to go on social media because they don't want it to come. If they do something later, they don't want it to come back biting them. Underneath it all is the offers they don't want to hear. I think Donald Trump is asking for that help, and some people are going to ignore him. Maybe 1 in 4 is going to go out there and support him of his base. So, but not the other 3. The other 3 aren't interested because they might be tired of the drama. They just, the consequences aren't worth it, or maybe he lost them with the January 6th thing and everything that's come out since then. Say of all of his supporters, maybe he's lost 25% due to his actions. 25% just don't have the emotional energy to help. 25% don't care. And 25% are going to be out there causing problems. Still, 25% of his supporters is 10 million to tens of millions of people. Millions of people would be out there. Okay. It's going to be worse in red states. So for my blue dots in red seas, you might want to go get your own 6-pack or 12-pack and celebrate with like-minded people in the safety of your own home. Okay, so that's what he's trying to do with this base. Now I'm going to ask, what is his base going to do? How is his base going to react? I wonder if we get that 4 cups again. How's his base going to react on that one? And I guess if I was going to narrow it down, the 25% that'll actually be activated to go out and do stuff. What are they going to do? But let's see if we get a general reading. If it actually seems to come down from that King of Cups. Okay, it's going to be an emotional time. They have to really check their emotions. No, the King of Cups reverse is a crybaby. I wonder if they view him as crybaby. Let's get these. There you go. There's only 1 card off. There's that 4 cups again. Ace of Wands. And the King of Wands. Okay. And then underneath it is the Ace of Pentacles. All right. So there's a big push. There's a big push for Donald's. This is Donald's emotional plea. They're going to look at him as he is suffering emotionally. Because he is. He is suffering emotionally. And what are they going to do? They're going to come out. They're coming out swinging. There are people that are going to come out and support him. Now, again, it's not going to be everybody. I think it's only going to be 1 in 4 of his supporters. But the 25% that come out, they're going to be the ardent supporters, and they're going to take action. They're going to take big actions. They will protest. There may be violence. Be careful out there. I don't really think of this as being money, like they're being paid, like the paid actors. But don't be surprised if they don't pay a bunch of people to come out, crisis actors, as it were, to come out and bolster the numbers. That wouldn't surprise me, because what you might find out is that he's disappointed with the numbers of people that come out, and maybe longs for the day where they could pay people, $50 to come out for an hour or 2 hours and hold a Trump sign. Okay. But his protesters will be out there. They will be out there. And I'm going to ask real quick, well, the ones that come out, the King of Wands, are they going to be violent? Are we going to see violence? Will people be killed? Will people be shot and killed? Or beaten? And not by law enforcement on the protesters. Are they going to take their anger out on their fellow citizens or government buildings or something? This card wants to come up, so we're going to just stop the overhand shuffle. This one kept wanting to come up. It's the World. Okay. Will they come out and do violence? Yeah, and it may not just be here, but it could very well be the world's watching. There's no big government, agreements, and nightmares. I don't know if it answered my question. Page of Pentacles. It's answering a different question. This happens to me every once in a while. This isn't answering if they're going to be violent. I think what Spirit is telling me is that this arrest is going to impact the world. It's going to impact the U.S., but it's going to impact the world because it's the president of the United States, and you'll have a global elite. They exist. Whether they're the Illuminati or not, who knows? But we do have the global elite. They do like things the way they are, and things are about to get tumultuous, and the world's going to be watching, and there's going to be agreements that are going to be made because of this. It's going to involve governments, and it's a freaking nightmare. This for a lot of governments is their worst nightmare, is having a president be arrested, because what's the impact on, or an ex-president in this case, what's the impact on them? What's the impact on foreign policy? What's the impact on the United States doing things with them? Will they be impacted by it? If there's corruption in the U.S. and they're willing to indict a former president, in their countries, are they going to be indicted for their bad acts? So underneath, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new message. There'll probably be offerings. Expect that other heads of state, if they offer anything, it's going to be a message of have trust and faith in the judicial system of the United States. Okay. So I don't think we're going to get an answer on whether or not there's going to... Well, I'll throw. I guess you know what it is that Spirit wanted me to expand on it a little bit more. Now, ask again, is there going to be violence? Is there going to be horrific violence? A slaughtering of people. I know, I just know we're going to get it. I mean, because I think you need to be intuitive for that. It's just... and I don't mean it from a fear-based approach. I try not to be fear-based as far as that goes. It's more resigned that it's a powder keg. Now, fortunately, the temperature in the United States has been brought down since Biden's been in office, and Fox News and others have been trying to stoke it again with the culture wars. But people are tired. They're exhausted of that. So maybe in some ways we're really lucky. We're lucky that it's taken this long, because it's allowed for the temperatures to come down. Otherwise, you can imagine what would have happened on January 5th if Trump got arrested. That whole thing with January 6th going on or if it happened after January 6th, it would have been a powder keg. Going out, strong emotions. Going out, so is there going to be violence? There's going to be strong emotions out there. And that's usually what you need, right? Foolish behaviors. It's going to be the end of a cycle. It could also be death. Let's see what the next card is. Happy family. Interesting. And then the Emperor. Okay. Again, they're going to go out. Their Emperor is being told he has no clothes on. They are going to go out and they're going to be emotionally charged. And they're going to want it. They're going to want to bring an end to things. They're going to want to tear some things down. There can be some, and there'll probably be some death involved with it. It's just the way it is. It's kind of a foolish act. Maybe they think they're being patriots again. But the people that do that, they're not going to be patriots. They're going to be fools. And of course, they want their country back. They want things back the way they were, a couple years ago, when everything was great because Donald Trump was in charge. Yeah, okay. Be careful out there, people. Be careful out there. All right. Why stop now? Let's have some more fun. I might put a picture on my community page. I have loaded up my writing. I have this this 100-year-old writing desk that I work off of. And my laptop's all pulled up, and I've got a quartz sphere with amethyst on a light stand, a couple of candles. I burnt several Palo Santo sticks. I've got rough amethyst and a beautiful polished amethyst I absolutely adore and love. Over here, I busted out my Himalayan quartz and my Brandbergs, golden healer heart, a quartz with phantoms on the inside, plus my normal little crystals of amethyst and Snowflake Obsidian, and we've got Prehnite, Sodalite, Rose Quartz, and a beautiful little rutilated quartz. I'll share that with you. See those rutilations. I've got my little setup here, plus my Nana and my dear dog Cody Roo, who he was my heart dog, my bestest buddy in the whole wide world. Okay, so my desk is loaded for bear on this one. Before I do my readings, I typically fill with light, and I ask to be protected in a golden bubble, so that I can try and give honest interpretations of the cards that are thrown for me. I'm not trying to bias people. I just want to give you the information. And when I do my readings, I want people to think. I want people to stop, take a step back, and look at their situation they're in, but maybe from a different angle, something they hadn't considered before. Not my job to tell you what to do. That's your job. Your life, your choices. You get all the benefits and all the consequences. But I just want to present the information to you. Again, when I address people who disagree with me in the comments, I try to engage them as opposed to just shout them down. But the whole part of the engagement is to try to find that common ground so that we're working off the same facts. And then all it is just a discussion of why we interpreted the facts the way we did. But the hard part is people aren't working with the same facts. And we need to get back to that. Okay, these are nice and well shuffled. All right, so what do I want to throw on now? I want to throw on, is Donald Trump planning on fleeing? Flat out. Is he planning on fleeing the country? When I've done this reading before, I typically got the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands showing that planning. This card wanted to come out on top and see what we've got. He is got some real strong emotions right now. And underneath it is the Emperor. Real strong emotions because in his mind, he's still in charge. He is still in charge. And he doesn't want to let go of that. And what's happening is, with the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords in that previous reading, this is mommy and daddy coming in and letting the terrible 2-year-old know he's not in charge. He's had his tantrum, but now come the consequences. Hope you got it out of your system because the punishment's still here. And again, I think he's been able to avoid punishment his entire life. He's feeling trapped. It's a cage of his own making. He's not trapped. He could get out. This truly is a cage of his own making, right? If he hadn't done all the stuff that he had done, he'd be fine. Of course, I could say that about anybody, right? But January 6th was a big thing. But even after January 6th, the Stormy Daniels thing, that was probably going to come up. Big deal. It's probably, he's not going to go to prison. It's unlikely he's going to go to prison. They're not going to throw an ex-president in prison. They probably just fine him, give him probation, and slap on the wrist. But trying to overturn the election was not a good call. The January 6th was just a huge miscalculation on his part, and he's stuck. He's done it to himself. He could have undone it to himself with a bunch of deals up front, but he's not interested in that. Or they weren't going to take his deals. Okay, so the truth is coming out. So I was asking, is Donald Trump going to flee? Current situation is the truth is coming out. Now, mind you, that's a really bright sun, and that does make me think of deserts, beaches. But the truth is coming out, and the truth is not Donald Trump's friend. It just isn't. Is he going to flee? Strong action needs to be taken. And here we go again. I told you in my previous readings to get Two of Wands, which is kind of like the thinking stage. Three of Wands is the planning stage. This is that new idea. This is maybe putting whatever plans he had. This could be putting that. Is it time to put those plans into action because the government's coming for him? That's 2 aces so far. This is a huge, huge moment. He's making his plans. He's thinking about it. He is thinking about it. I think, because the Ace of Wands is the overarching energy. It's kind of like what's going on. And the lesson to be learned is the Two of Wands. So I think he's making his plans. I think this has triggered him. He's being indicted for this. That reality is that we got that Seven of Cups, the illusion delusion. I think the reality is setting in on him. He's not untouchable, and they're hitting him with the lightest thing first, which means that if he's going to be indicted and arrested over, campaign finance, then oh God, what's going to happen with the classified documents in Georgia? It's kind of that mindset. It's dawning on him. Queen of Cups is about keeping your emotions in check. He may be given guidance to keep his emotions in check. He doesn't have the capacity. Again, especially with that Ace of Cups. If Donald Trump goes radio silent on Twitter and Truth Social, he's not on Twitter, on Truth Social and social media, it's one of two things have happened. The improbable thing is that his lawyers told him to be quiet because you're just making things worse for yourself. Another thing that could be is part of the negotiation between Donald Trump's lawyers and the state of New York for him not to be in handcuffs when he turns himself in is you can't stir the pot. You gotta keep your emotions in check. Do not be inciting insurrection, which is why he's doing it now, because he hasn't made the agreement. In his mind, he hasn't made that agreement. So if he puts that out there now, and he's going to make things harder on Alvin Bragg's office, right? And it's like, do we still have a deal or not? So they'll reach out to his lawyers, and they'll be, oh yeah, there won't be any more on that one. So sorry, and that's what it's going to be. He's going to play on people's emotions. So, but if he's not doing anything, it's because there's an agreement on there. It could also mean he's making plans and he knows he needs to lie low, but I don't think he's there yet. I think that's going to be part of a plea deal. And that tells me that, if I think there's going to be part of a plea deal telling him to knock it the heck off. Again, we got the Emperor underneath. Does the Emperor represent the King of Saudi Arabia? He's in a strong emotional state right now. And truth's coming out. He feels trapped. Truth's coming out. Does he, use that Ace of Clubs to fight? Or does he use it to make his plans to get out of town? We still don't know yet. I'm going to translate that as it hasn't been decided. He hasn't decided yet. Or I should say, nothing's imminent. If he's planning on leaving, this isn't the trigger. This isn't the indictment that he's worried about. But again, I stand by, my Ace of Wands and my Two of Wands. I stand by that. He is thinking about it. He doesn't know what to do yet. Stay and fight or run. He doesn't know what to do yet. Okay. Anything else I wanted to throw on with this as I shuffle? I don't envy his position at all. Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, make this 24/7 coverage fast as possible. Breaking news. What else do I want to ask? Do I want to ask about current governments? Don't really care about his kids. Care about his. I don't know. Are we done? Are we done at this point? We might be done at this point. I can't think of any other questions I want to ask. So what have we asked? How's he feeling? What's going to be the impact on his? Is he messaging his base? What's the impact on his base? And is he looking to flee the country? And we also got a bonus what the world's going to think on this one. You know what? I'm going to have to throw one last one. What's going to be the impact on the United States with this? We're coming into. Wait a minute. Okay, before we get into that one, Pence basically agreed with Trump that it's a witch hunt. Okay, maybe that's not his exact words. Basically, I believe Pence said something like it was a. It's unfortunate that they're indicting an ex-president, and this reeks of politicalness. I got news from Mike Pence. You are the most bland, tepid bowl of oatmeal or cream of wheat I have ever seen in my frickin' life. Dude, nobody is going to vote for you for president. If you were going to run for president against a bowl of tapioca, chances are the tapioca is going to beat you 70-30. Especially if the tapioca has a little cinnamon sprinkled on the top. No, Mike Pence is unelectable because nobody cares. Nobody cares about that guy. He inspires emotion. Like, what's the blandest thing you can think of? Boy, it's good to come up with analogies if you got a good analogy waiting for you, he's about as passionate as vanilla ice cream. Mike Pence. What's going on with that joker? Okay, he's actually happy. He's happy this is happening, and that makes sense because, first off, Trump tried to get him killed. Plain and simple. Trump tried to get him killed. But also, this is... he's towing the party line. Oh, I'm such a good Trump supporter. Because it's one of those things, and you've heard other readers say it, you can't win a primary without Trump, and you can't win a general election with him. So this is letting the Democrats and the legal system do the Republicans' dirty work. It's going to calm things down. It's going to get him out of trouble, so he thinks. Because, the government found stuff on that. Now I don't have to answer for Trump. But I think that's a fool's errand because he was there for all 4 years. So if Trump was doing bad things in the White House, where were you? How did you not know that? What was it when with Reagan and Iran-Contras? Where's George? Where was George during all of this? Where was Mike during all of this? King of Wands. He's gonna basically. I think he thinks he's going to capitalize on this, and he's going to move forward with action as the elder statesman who knows how to take the Republicans to the next level. And he's going to try and manifest that, but it's an absolute illusion. He doesn't have the charisma to do that. But he's going to work hard at it. He is going to try and make himself the face of the traditional conservative, the evangelicals, and he's going to want to get that Republican nomination. He's being an opportunist. And I can't say that I blame him. This is his best opportunity for that. Actually, his best opportunity for that was on January 7th. In part, I'm laughing because I was thinking, January 7th because you take the lead and say, hey, this was wrong. This is anti-American, and this guy does not represent the values of conservatives. I can go forward and talk down about that. But he didn't do that. Guy hid. But the chuckle was the 25th Amendment. He had the opportunity to invoke the 25th Amendment. They would have removed Trump. It would have been a really easy thing to do at that point because you have the cover of that insurrection to remove him. And he would have been president for all of 2 weeks. That was Mike Pence's. That's as close as he was going to get to the presidency and being president. Or it was that 2 week window, and he didn't take it. Sorry, Mike. You'll never get in now. Okay, back to your regularly scheduled reading. What's going to be the impact on the country with this? If this indictment does come out through on Tuesday, what's going to be the impact on the country? This will probably be the last part unless something amazing pops into my head. Okay, this wants to be on top. Here we go. What's the impact on the country? That's it. Karma. This is it. This is the right time, the right place, the right moment for this. It's an awakening for the U.S. That's actually really. I could probably stop right there, but I'm not because I want to do a six-carter. It's a new way of looking at things. It's a reconciliation. Is this really going to make a difference with people? Possibly with some, because you can't ignore it. Fox News is not going to be able to ignore it like it does the Fox News Dominion lawsuits, right? Now, Fox News viewer probably has no idea that Fox News is being sued, much less that Rupert Murdoch's out there saying, oh yeah, we lie to our viewers all the time. And everything about the big lie really was a big lie, but we told them anyways. This is going to be a shock for some people. And it's going to be a new way of looking at things. There's your Ace of Wands. So in the past, it's the Ace of Wands. Action's been taken. Finally, we've had action taken regarding the criminal behavior of the former president. And things have moved forward. It's going to be a nightmare. This is, it could be waking up from a nightmare, but it's going to be really stressful. This is going to be really stressful on the country as a collective. We've never had to deal with this before. We're in uncharted territories, and we don't know which way this is going to go. I think ultimately justice is going to prevail, but it's going to be a fight. There needs to be reconciliation. People need to put the country above their individual parties and trust that this is what it's supposed to be. Maybe it's funny. It's implying that this is the healing process. I think it's going to be a while before we get to the healing process. Okay, so this is a longer term thing. This is a much longer term thing. I was just thinking, what's going to happen in the next few months. This is looking out over years. This is the nightmare we had to deal with, but ultimately, this is what's going to bring people back together again. We've been divided too long, and it's going to take time to integrate this. I was just saying, it's going to take years. It's going to take years, but it's going to start bringing people back into the United States, where it's where we work with the same facts, we're in the same reality. We have different opinions of how we should proceed, but it's going to bring this country back together again, as opposed to the divisions that we've been suffering through for the last several years. The outcome, we're going to go forward with new ideas, a new mission. It's good for the country. When I took my tarot readings with Lena, I called this my Teddy Roosevelt card. So think of what you envision Teddy Roosevelt as, and this is going to be going together as a brave new America, and moving forward with new programs, new ideas, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be a stronger America for it. Underneath it all, it's going to be a lot of work. We need to do a lot of self-evaluation during this. So, how is this going to impact the elections? It's not really telling me that in as much, or maybe it is telling me that. The elections are going to be impacted in such a way that we're going to have to address everything that's happened, and it's going to bring the country back together again. We can't be divided. We have to be united. And once we're united, we can start progressing to make this a better place for us and for everybody in this country and everybody in the world. Yeah, that's kind of a nice way to end this. And I think I'll end it on this one. Thank you very much for spending the last 45 minutes with me on this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I was really curious to see how this was all going to turn out. And, I hope that, for some people, I hope that you're looking at this in a different perspective than maybe what you came in on. It's a very emotionally charged time, and there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of hurt. But, we're going to have to learn how to forgive and bring people back into the fold. Doesn't mean you have to forget, but they say, anger is like holding a hot coal in your hand and hoping that the other person gets burned, or drinking poison and the other person dies. We're gonna have to find a way to deal with the anger that we've been dealing with and the anger they've been dealing with, they need to deal with, and so that we can move forward. Have a great day. Have a good weekend. And if anything else interesting comes out, I'll jump on and make another video. Take care. Bye-bye.